T1. They are extremely formidable, but I think I can throw some support behind the NA boys over here.
Yeah. Well, we will head into the game and see how it's gonna go. T1 versus a wildcard. I'm excited, and I hope that wildcard. You know, I feel like so often I watch them. I just was hoping that one little thing would be different, that they were just a little bit closer on the same page. But perhaps now that they've played a few games, they're gonna be more in the groove.
I mean, that would be excellent because this is the last game of the group stage for these guys. So potentially, again, if they're able to, you know, pull off, I think it's a 2-0. If Wildcard pulls that off, we do go into tiebreaker scenario, which then they play even more T1. It's going to be a grand finals match. But
we have a bit of a smoke in already here. If we can go into the game, then we have top lane, Eve getting found here by T1. But he's going to be fine. He was under his tower almost already as they ran into him. So they don't get to put down any wards while being smoked, but they're going to head into the dire jungle here.
I mean, it's a decent amount of harass that they just placed down, but that is going to give the information to the side of Wildcard exactly where everyone is and that they can go and grab this other
wow,
if needed.
They got that D ward on the outpost, so they've done their prep work here. That was a good D ward. And then they deny their own observer ward because they realized that they placed it in vision. So they kill off their own observer ward not to feed that gold over. And Bounty Rune's going to be 2 for 2 here. Both teams getting hand of even amount of gold.
Nice even split. You can see Alex just kind of hanging out here, seeing what he can get for information. If anybody wanders over, perhaps start putting down a little bit of harass.
Whitemon coming in, just kind of clearing the way for Ana as he's running down. A little bit late to the lane here. A tiny amount of time for the Vailama to pull the creep aggro back on his range creep and try and get this lane to push back into the dire tower.
Feels like a potentially strong lane here with the Snapfire and the Pangolier. But, of course, Whitemon punches very, very hard, especially if he's able to get all of those extra bodies in with that spirit. So you have to be very aware and careful of that.
Yeah, he's a pretty potent hero. You don't want to trade hits with him when he has the spirits, but the good thing is, you know, it's just for a short amount of time that he's that strong. So right now, for instance, he wasn't allowed to get too many punches in during the spirit time, and then he goes weak again. Top lane, we've seen quite a bit of trading as well between this Venomancer and the Chen, kind of battling out on the side while the Axe and Morphling go at each other.
Be curious to see. Right now, not seeing anything picked up over on Sam just yet in terms of skill, so be interested to see how they decide to play this. Although Sam is taking a decent amount here from Cuckoo and Zephyr. The harassment is very, very strong in this lane with this potential.
Yeah, he finally takes the divine favor. You want the extra regen, and with a headdress as well. The Morphling makes good value out of that regen, having so much armor when he goes full agi. So quite nice synergy between the two of them.
Who is the person that we want to be keeping our eyes on the closest during this stage?
I'd keep my eyes on Alone. He's a strong player. But top lane, there is quite a bit of fighting going on. Cuckoo is trying to get a chase onto Chen here.
Let's get some good spins here. And there it is, the final spin coming out from Cuckoo. We'll be able to secure that kill on Sam. I guess the downside now is the fact that Cuckoo is sitting so incredibly low. Is going to get a tango from his support, but does have to be very careful in his positioning for time being. Okay, actually, they use the salve as well.
Oh, it might get canceled.
Cancel it out. Yeah. Going to chase after Zephyr here a little bit. Cuckoo and Zephyr both sitting incredibly low, and that hurts, right? Because Zephyr just used the last of his regen. Cuckoo doesn't have any regen left at all.
Yeah, Cuckoo wants to get that ring early. He wants Vanguard. He has the gold for it now pretty much, so he can go... he's going to buy it on his courier and send it out, but it will take a while for him to get all that HP back. Look how low he went.
And there we go. There's the salve picked up. And he's got himself that ring. So, should be able to come back to the lane. But yeah, no, nice trading and harassing in this top lane. So let's check in with the mid lane, though. What do we have here? It looks like Alone 18 and 6 in terms of CS, 11 and 2 over on Thompson. It's about what we expected.
Yeah, like I said, I think that
bottom
SF
lane.
really wins against melees. Oh, Anna in trouble.
Yeah, they're moving real fast here, so that is going to be a kill for Alex. Whitemon trying to just get as much damage back out to Alex as possible. Doesn't have much mana. Does have himself that one mango, though.
Cuckoo, top
And,
lane, he's going
more
pretty deep.
harassment.
Taking so much damage.
And he just had himself a salve faired out. I guess, you know, he does have the Ring of Health, so he is going to be able to regen, but it does make it a little bit more dangerous for him to approach waves now when you're sitting that low.
Yeah, fortunately Chen is not the best hero at dealing with creep cutting by axe, since he doesn't have any real magic damage to add in unless he finds good creeps. For now he only has the Wild Wing, so he can't stop the axe from doing what he's doing right now.
Dire's top tower is under
He's going to
attack.
send the tornado over. He figures that Cuckoo's going to try to do something cheeky here, maybe cut the wave. And Eve also sitting low. Man, this is the lane of very low hits here. Without HP.
Yeah, I mean, that's also common when you're playing Morphling, though. You want to go all the way down and get as much as possible for last hitting. Your agi stats maxed out as hard as possible. But yeah, mid lane
like how
alone is owning this.
I mean, this is typically when you talk to a mid player, this is one of their favorite heroes to play because it is the original, you know, the 1v1 skill matchup.
It is, yeah.
Dire's
Not that we
middle
see
tower
too much of that anymore, but I like the way though this top lane is super aggressive, right? It's making it so Sam has to babysit the entire time. He's not going to be allowed to kind of make these rotations and try to put pressure because it's just a little bit too scary for Eve. They need to make sure that he's getting this farm.
Yeah,
Although
I
they're
think,
pinging out, they're like, Axe is trying to do some shenanigans.
Oh,
Whitemon
SF.
does end up dying to Divide, but there's just a free little pick-off here for Alone.
is under attack.
yeah,
That
he
feels real good if you're a Shadow Fiend.
has a great rotation. And
This is
Zephyr?
Zephyr. Yeah, he is very far forward. He does not have his friend here, the Axe, to keep him safe. Waveform forward from Eve. I'm waiting for Alone to just come here. Yeah, there it is. There's a double kill. Thank you very
nice.
much.
He's going to be very happy with that. And now going back towards the mid lane, he's now level 6. He's ahead by quite a bit against the Tiny. Top CS and 2 kills.
Alex making his way over, gonna just cancel us, that way he can't get the rune, although the toss-up into the air doesn't matter. Thompson's still gonna be able to bottle it as Whitemon rejoining over here. And they also managed, they TP over Zephyr too. They're very concerned. It's kind of interesting that they put that much importance over here, but they do a warding and a D-ward. Or we're looking for any sort of wards.
I think it's smart to try and make some move towards mid, because if SF gets this good of a start, you want to try and shut him down as early as possible before he gets big stats from Power Threads, Dragonlance, you know, once he gets tanky enough. But this early on, if he gets a Gale on him, Tiny could maybe go in and kill the SF here.
He's waiting very patiently. And the tower does end up spotting him. They'll ping it out. You can see Sam making his way over, gonna be able to provide some support to Alone, keep him protected. Thompson just picking up that level 6 now. But pretty quiet, honestly, despite the fact that they have that rotation from Zephyr. In fact, it's almost like a little bit of a fake back. He's gonna head back over again.
Yeah, you just see the intention though, trying to put some form of threat towards mid lane. Top lane, we might have not really a solo kill. Very low HP on Axe. Morphling wants to commit for this. Eve might be in trouble.
Needs to be very careful. I think he's alright. He definitely was feeling hungry for it, but Thompson getting spotted underneath the ward that Wildcard placed here is going to make sure that, you know, Wildcard, they play safe behind their tower. They're not going to give him the opportunity to get any sort of a pick off. And we'll go back. Still have another bounty rune there, but let's do a little bit of casual jungling.
Yeah, gonna be fine. That was a dangerous move that Morphling made under the tier 1 tower top. He didn't have waveform ready, didn't quite have mana as well, so if a TP came in from Tiny, he could have gone punished. Bottom. Tango roll.
The bottom going in for the dive on Ana, and they'll be able to collect themselves a Drow Ranger. As Alone just casually finds Zephyr. I guess Zephyr was still hanging out over in that lane. So far, Wildcard looking real strong.
Got the haste rune. Now he goes in and steals the big camp stack as well from the enemy jungle and manages to get 2 item drops from it. So getting neutral items nice and early can be a nice impact as well. Getting the pig pole here on SF for 6 more tall stats. So now it's harder to burst, but they will try.
Might as well, but yeah, look at this. Thompson's like, yeah, I don't know about this. We don't know who's nearby. So in the top lane, though, Axe is getting wailed on a little bit here. Thought they might be going for a hard committal, but doesn't appear to be the case. And Ana here now just hiding in the tree line, having some difficulty. But Whitemon is get found out, and that's another kill now for Alone's SF.
You could not be asking for a better start.
Belt.
Yeah, Alone is really popping off here.
Alex, no TP available, but perhaps Divine Llama can provide some support. Nah, they'll end up losing the Snapfire. It's a nice pickoff. It's gonna be Zephyr who gets the final hit. Top lane finding a kill on Axe. Man, this has been a brawl fest. And this is something that we typically see out of Wildcard, right? They do very, very well during the laning stage. We just have to hope that they're able to keep up the momentum and the pressure.
These last chance qualifier games are really testing the observers, but we're staying on top of it. This is very nice. And so much fighting going on. There's now Pango roll happening onto the Elder Titan.
That's the perfect angle here. Like, look at this, just perfect pinball wizard. There we go, easy peasy. But the follow-up from Thompson and Ana, they've got their eyes, they've got the silence over onto Divine Llama. Is he gonna be, oh no, he's still gonna get clicked down by Ana. No mischance there.
That was funny. That almost, if he got away there, he would have gone away because the Drow silence stopped the toss from landing. So he silenced when he's on the downswing from the toss. So you actually don't take the damage. It's like a soft landing into the silence. But they did still get him.
And ASM's really had his work cut out for him today with the Hobbsing. We had the earlier series of Tempest versus Polaris, and that just non-stop fighting, non-stop deaths.
That's good. It's the good Dota, the active type. It's fun to watch.
Definitely more interesting than just watching everybody sit in the jungle hitting creeps. That used to be the NA Dota way for quite a while.
Oh yes, the jungling days.
I miss jungle. If they brought back jungle, would you be opposed to it?
Depends in what manner they bring it back. I think it could be an option, but I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, every game we need to have 1 or 2 junglers, you know, like, oh god. Not the Iron Town plus Quelling Blade days with a Giga farm.
Ooh, those are some kisses coming out from Alex's Mortimer.
Oh, efficiency
and just for value, I know, getting that creep camp feels real good. And he's still smoked up because he's so far away. I think that's such a ridiculous bit about Snapfire is the amount of range that they get for Snapfire kisses. They can literally be off the screen. This is not looking great for Alone, though. They've sent over quite a few heroes. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the save. They go for the cookie, though, hit over onto Thompson, trying to just slow him down, get off the Requiem of Souls. A couple clicks. Are they actually going to get this kill on Thompson? He's got the fair fight. No, the last click from Alex. Can they get the deny over on Alone? No! They do not. Now, Whitemon landing the stomp. Zephyr, the dream team. Ana coming in hot now. He says, oh, we're fighting. I would love to get myself a kill. Should be able to finish off on Alex. But Divine Llama is here now, and he's going to use the Rolling Thunder. He's going to be in a nice position to just roll back and forth. And again, we've already seen this happen to Ana. We'll go for the split, but knocks him up over onto the high ground, which perhaps was not what he intended to do. So Ana will survive.
Yeah, you saw Ana hugging the wall there to make sure that he would get pushed high ground if he got rolled on. That was actually a tactical decision there. Really nice.
Uh-oh. Well, they got the kill over on Zephyr, but Divine Llama will pay for it. Man, I feel like we've been watching this spot for well over a minute. Whitemon's sitting so incredibly low, and they just don't have the vision. They don't have the follow-up to kill him.
There's so much to cover on that. I think the one little tidbit that I want to point out is that Alex was trying to deny Alone on the Shadow Fiend on his Snapfire there, and Venomous Gale just timed out, and then the SF died to Poison Sting instead. So when the Venomous Gale timed out, can no longer deny him. Oh, failed dunk.
That's a great eye on that. I didn't realize that's why they weren't able to get the denial.
Yeah, I think he canceled it himself once because he wasn't sure if he had to. Then he started, and then it timed out, so he couldn't attack anymore.
Unfortunate timing. Alright, how are we doing here on Cuckoo? Looks like he's got the Vanguard completed. He's working towards that Blink Dagger. And he's been trying to make some moves over onto Eve a couple times now, but hasn't had just enough damage to finish him.
Yeah, he shouldn't be able to solo him. Sam, though,
with a little help from Thompson, a little help from Whitemon, they should be able to get this kill. But the response now coming out from Wildcard. They're smoked up. They're going to try to challenge this. They're going to send an Eve to make it look like he's all alone and the smoke's going to come through. They see Thompson, the kisses come out. That's some major amounts of damage from Snapfire. Now they'll turn their attention over to Whitemon. No longer have that Rolling Thunder going just yet. Could attempt an Echo Stomp if he wants. In fact, he's looking for it, but doesn't matter. Eve comes swimming on through. Swimming, I don't know, pouring water, something like that. But he'll be able to finish him off.
What does a Morphling do? I don't even know.
Yeah, I feel like he's swimming, but he's water. Can water swim in water?
I suppose he's pouring. Yeah, he's pouring himself over wherever. I like this start for Wildcard, though. They're playing some really good Dota. The way they're combining, this is exactly what I was talking about before the game started. They had the Pango ulti and the Snapfire, both of them just joining together to get kills. They've done it multiple times now. And not to mention, the SF is absolutely balling.
Uh-oh, Cuckoo. I think you bit off a little bit more than you could chew, my friend. They need one more hit. Eve not having that mana does have himself a stick, but it's more than happy to just continue to hit these creeps. Well, Cuckoo does have to TP out, and they're hunting. They see Zephyr. They needed one more hit alone, not quite having that damage, but he does manage to turn his attention over to Whitemon. They separate off to the side so that way they can get the Echo. Divine Llama cleaning up on Zephyr, and this is looking like a dead Whitemon.
That was good reaction by Zephyr immediately there to get the magic stick, but the cleanup crew there by Divine Llama. Wildcard are just on top of things right now.
I'm impressed, and like I said, I wanted to see them play their own style of Dota, and these are definitely heroes that lend themselves to that.
Oh, I love that Alone is going for the Manta style after Dragonlance here. See a lot of SFs go for like BKB, and I understand it's a comforter, you know, when you're playing as a +1 or +2 hero, getting that BKB is big. But I think Manta style here is fantastic. He's against Veno, he's against Battle Hunger, Drow Silence. There's so much to dispel, and it's just a great item overall for SF.
Okay, so Wildcard feels like they're in the driver's seat right now. They've got 7k gold lead. They've taken a bunch of towers as Thompson just cleans up Sam, and there's a follow-up here from Divine Llama, but it's just him right now, so has to be careful. Thompson already TPing away. But what is the way that they keep going, right? Because this is a common thing with Wildcard. They start to lose that momentum. I don't know if it's necessarily because they're farming too much or they're just not playing together. Like, what do they need to do
I think
to be able to give themselves a better chance here?
I think what they need to do is exactly what they are continuously doing here. You see that Pango is moving towards mid as both the ulti of Pango and Snapfire is up. They're again trying to combine these skills, and I think they're understanding that they're on a strong power spike now, so they're even 5-manning a bit. Perhaps could contest mid tower or even go for a play on Roche.
It's the bling. They go and use the Hand of God. And they end up using the Earth Splitter, but doesn't do nearly enough for what they wanted. So I feel like if you're Wildcard, you're happy. They dropped a big ulti and used a smoke, and they didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, at the same time, T1 just trying to farm that Blink Dagger on their Axe. That's going to be their key timing that they're looking to play towards. They have Blink on Tiny, but alone he can't really kill anything. I mean, he can kill off like Chen, but he can't kill the important heroes. So getting Axe, Blink as well, the two of them can work in tandem, and that will be what Wildcard need to look out for.
Looking. Are seeing some moves being played. The call from Cuckoo. He tried to go for the cookie, but the creep ends up dying, and now they're going to try to burst down Cuckoo. Can they do it fast enough? He's going to teleport out those Snapfire kisses. Getting used for what? Feels bad if you're Alex, but gotta be feeling pretty good if you're Cuckoo right now.
It was a cute little attempt going in with a waveform and using the Axe call on himself there, but not quite enough damage to burst him. He has a lot of HP with that Vanguard. I like how Zephyr is playing this on his Venomancer. I hate Venomancer, but, you know, I like what he's doing. He's controlling the area around mid lane. He's revealing everyone's movements just by spamming these Venowards on high grounds. And even though T1 are quite heavily behind right now, Wildcard are not even getting close to being able to take the mid tower. And I think that is crucial for T1 if they're going to be successful here, that they keep this tower up.
It almost feels very reminiscent of watching Old Eleven's Broodmother the other day, where he just microed all the spiders. A little bit of a jump in here from Thompson. Not quite enough damage to burst alone, as they do have that Rolling Thunder. So Thompson just gets absolutely melted, as now Divine Llama, he's found himself Zephyr over here on the side, gets a Swashbuckle, they'll get the Scatter Blast. And now they are down 2. A nice call here coming out from Cuckoo. Manages to lock down Alex, followed up with that Earth Splitter, and they get the dunk off on Alex. So they'll find an opening now. The Hunt is on alone. Starts thinking about making the move. Sam has a little bit of an army over here, so they should be able to put the pressure finally down over onto this mid-tier one. But they have to be careful. Again, Cuckoo jumping forward, sees himself alone, but they jump onto the back lines. They've made themselves a little bit of a bait and switch. A good stop, though, coming into play now. Cuckoo trying to run out, and he's not going to be able to. Just way too much damage coming out from alone. A lovely cheeky play there coming out from Wildcard, having them put alone up very front and forward, saying, come on, hit me, while Divine Llama and Sam jump over onto the back lines and focus down on these other heroes to separate.
It was an ambitious attempt there by Cuckoo going in for the call on the SF. I think if they did land the multi-shot from Drow Ranger, they could maybe have killed him with the dunk. But there was a creep wave in between. So Anna, he tried to multi-shot, but none of it connected onto the SF. So SF stayed alive and healthy, gets to channel out his ulti, and suddenly they're just getting everything they want for free here, right? They're getting the tower, getting kills, and T1 are not at all looking as dominant as we expected going into this matchup. Wildcard definitely looks like they found what was missing in their play.
Smoked up. Oh, they run into Whitemon. This is very advantageous, honestly, for T1, because you saw they were beelining for Ana. Much rather lose that Elder Titan than lose your position 1. So they do make their way over to the Roche pit. They get dewarded. But I don't feel like, with the Elder Titan dead, I don't think you want to go near this.
It's such a fast Roche too. They kill it very, very quickly. And it's difficult to go near it because both the tier 1 top and mid tower was removed. So you don't have easy teleport points. By the time they started going for that Roshan, even if tops and TPs, he would have to TP to a tier 2 tower. It would be too far to run. And like you said, Elder Titan, he's sort of the most important hero to contest Roche.
That's definitely one of the benefits of picking up an Elder Titan among some of the other very notable reasons. But they do manage to get themselves a tower over in the bottom lane, so a little bit of a oh, I can never remember this word.
Consolation?
A consolation prize. That's what I'm thinking of.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. It's oh, a little bit of a Gale and Vandal ulti there.
Yes, indeed.
Just also Gale.
This is these illusions just chasing down Zephyr. In comes Divine Llama, lands a Swashbuckle. Cookie hop forward over onto the illusion, but nope. He's absolutely fine, this little Hydralisk.
Yeah, and the tier 2 tower removed in no time at all. So now expecting Wildcard to want to make a move. Even though they could hold this area and keep the triangle, I expect them to want to make a big move down into the Radiant jungle. So they smoke up. Probably going to go in here because the goal is to take the outpost eventually. And of course, put your sights on the other tier 2 towers. So Whitemon, he's kind of gang tanking again here. Probably doesn't want to die, so he sneaks behind a tree.
They know. They need to cancel out that TP, and they just don't have it in time.
That was a good read by Whitemon. He knew this was coming.
Like you said, he is, you want that guy tanking the gank, not your position 1 or 2 if all possible, so.
Yeah, but T1, they are definitely struggling because now, after taking over the outpost, both Eve and Alone are just slapping into this tower with the SF aura, minus armor for the buildings as well. They take buildings so fast, and they're in position. They have Chen setting up for mid as well, along with the Snapfire.
I mean, this SF is just massive. Like, he's level 16, he's got an Aegis, he's got the most net worth on the board. It's gonna be quite the, okay, alright, you know, Cuckoo again trying to drag them a little bit further in because they have the tree volley. Thompson jumping in with the Avatos, but not gonna be able to land it correctly.
Big stomp there from ET, but doesn't really have anything to follow it anymore. They're gonna back out. I think they got what they wanted. Some damage on the tower. and just retreat.
I think these plague wards are still an issue, right? The fact that he's starting to be able to set them up, it makes it difficult to breach that high ground.
Yeah, totally agree that Venomancer is a very defensive hero, like defending areas, defending high grounds. He can be very obnoxious to deal with. Oh, Alone is sticking around in the enemy triangle here. He does have Aegis, so probably feeling confident because of it.
I mean, one of his lines is, "So what if I swagger?" Here comes Divine Llamas. No one left over here, just rolling around, having a good time. Bit of a victory, though, for the side of T1. Now they don't have to worry about that Rolling Thunder for a little bit.
I honestly just realized why Wildcard are doing so well in this game. They drafted Morphling, and they didn't drop a shovel, right? The shovel dropped on T1, so they don't have to worry about neutrals killing your carry. That is why this game is going so well for them.
You've cracked the code, Waga.
I have. So R&D, neutral items, just lucky.
Alright, there's a nice little find here. They'll get themselves down. The Sapphire Kisses, though, doing quite a bit. Almost managing to nuke down Cuckoo enough as Divine Llama does indeed jump forward with that blink. He is silenced, though, as it feels like the rest of the team splitting up a little bit. Zephyr sitting a bit low. Divine Llama is very far from the rest of the team, though, so he is going to end up dying to Cuckoo. As in comes Eve, he waveforms forward, gets the kill over on Zephyr. And that's going to be the Aegis that gets popped now for Alone. But he's coming back up again, and they don't have their full team, so they'll just land a cheeky stomp, and they're going to back off, not able to go for that mounted dodge on the Shadow Fiend.
Also really good fight, though, for T1, and they also get the dunks over on the Axe, so he gets a tiny bit of armor to help him survive better against this SF, because SF hits so hard right now. Axe is supposed to be this tanky frontliner, but I'm not sure you can be as tanky as your team wants you to be against Morphling and SF in this game. So any bit of armor from that ulti dunk probably feels very welcome for him.
Well, at this point, T1 does feel a little bit like they're pinned in their closer areas of this map. Wildcard right now, though, they are pretty spread out. I would like to see them play a little bit more aggressively, considering the fact that they do have this lead. Whitemon, though, here on the top lane, I'm not sure if they're going to quite spot him.
He's hiding. He's trying to be sneaky here. I don't think they have any idea that he's in the area, so he can just sit tight. But at the end of the day, Wildcard are doing exactly what you were calling for. They're trying to move into enemy territory. They're using the Chen creeps and the Morphling illusions to send them first up on the high grounds. Not take any big risks, but still claiming the area that they feel they deserve.
I feel like they're so strong right now that it's a mistake to be playing too far back. It feels like a little bit of over caution in a sense.
They're waiting for timings right now. They have Morphling Aghanim's coming right around the corner here. They have 300 gold to go. And then Aghanim's is complete on Morph. He's going to be very, very strong. They also have the full Blink Diffusal on Pango already now. So he's ready to fight, along with a Shard. That's a lot of value for him against Tiny as well. You could potentially dodge the Avatar toss if you immediately roll up when he blinks in.
Cuckoo. A little bit of a surprise there. Yeah, and like you said with the shards, we also see that Alex has picked up the Fire Snap cookie, which gives them a little bit more damage, which is pretty nice, and the increased jump range.
Yeah.
And a full silver edge over on Shadow.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It's just great damage item, huge stats, and it can also potentially cancel some counter helix spins. Not too bad. I want to talk about this Tiny Aghanim's, by the way. It's something that a lot of people play on the mid-Tiny lately, but in this game, physical damage against something like Morphling just struggles. You don't really do that much damage to him, so even though you're going to be able to deal with the Chen army, I suppose, and perhaps get some kills on Snapfire or Pango, you're not really threatening the big carry Morphling or even SF that much, since he has 24 armor.
What would you prefer to see Topson do instead of the Ags then?
I mean, it might still be the best choice. It's just that for a mid-Tiny, there are not too many great options here to go for. You can't really commit into a full magic caster build, but maybe you could go for something like a Shadow Blade to look for Morphling on high agi, you know, try and be more sneaky. I've talked about it before, how I always like having some source of invis on your team. They currently don't have anything that forces Wildcard to throw down more detection.
That is true. You mentioned that, you know, if you can keep the supports poor, that gives you a nice little additional advantage if they're always trying to buy these things. But that's a little bit of a loot pinata found by Alone. Get the Cloak of Flames and the Psychic Headband.
Yeah, nice drops for him.
Up. Here on the side of T1, do you have the Harpy just kind of wandering through? They'll drop some vision, and it's gonna be Sam who ends up tanking the gank. So you end up losing that position 5. Could have gone a much worse. The waveform forward over onto Cuckoo. It's a lot of damage. They even go and they pop the BKB. So throwing down that Poison Nova, a good avalanche. The Cookie though forward alone does have the double damage. And Cuckoo almost managing to go and get that call off, but not quite. So those long range Sapphire Kisses coming through. The toss over on Ana. Thompson says, get out of there. But now, he's stuck over in the river. So a couple clicks from this Ballista coming off from the Drow will be able to scare him away a bit. But he does have the roll.
Oh, no.
He's caught in the corner. Oh, disaster. And the follow-up from Ana with the blink, making sure they can get the final hits off.
Oh, that was not the direction he wanted to get cookied right there. Trying to get out of that little situation on Pango, but I think still decent for T1 considering how far behind they are. They didn't lose anything valuable in that fight, and they got some kill for Axe again. But Wildcard, again, they have this SF and the Morphling. They have not been solved. They are both extremely farmed right now. Morphling hasn't died a single time, and Alone with a single death to his name.
Pretty impressive for a Shadow Fiend to be doing this well and not have too many deaths.
I think what they need is Blade Mail over on the Axe and be able to catch the SF or Morphling in a call. That's pretty much what I'm looking for T1 to find here. Alone?
I will say, everyone's thinking about it. Oh, they dropped the sentry and they ping. They're like, oh, boy, that was close. One thing that I do like, though, is the fact Zephyr has picked up an early gem, and we've talked about this and how it can be very undervalued in a lot of games, but when you are using this hero as a primary source of just getting information and also, you know, getting that vision, I think a gem is excellent. But they do end up handing it over to Axe. He is their main initiator. He's got to be able to see the Shadow Fiend. It seems like Alone is the public enemy #1 in this game currently, as they smoke on the side of Wildcard.
Yeah, you saw just how close it was to a big SF call. Ooh, they're wrapping in here, looking for any initiation from Smoke. Morph is scouting them.
They know that they've dropped down these wards here.
Roche is falling during this. Alone is taking Roche.
If they get over there in time, though, it feels like they want to do something, but not seeing the Elder Titan really. Yeah, it's too late. It's way too late, as they do use the roll over here on Divine Llama. There's the BKB from Cuckoo. He does not want to get blown up by these Snapfire Kisses. Not again. And just like that, Wildcard secures themselves the second Roche.
Yeah, they get the Roche. They back out safely. They're going to regroup now and try and reset a little bit. Meanwhile, T1, I mean, they have everything ready. It's not like they're missing something. The only thing would be trying to farm up that blade mill that I was talking about, but it still feels like they can't get a grip on Wildcard at all. And a lot of it comes down to the positioning that I want to say Sam has had and Alex. Both of them have effectively shielded their cores in a good way.
You see how low Zephyr was brought there?
Yep, he is not very tanky.
I mean, he does look fairly squishy just in general, but...
The little Tranquil's Venomancer just sliding around with a Force Staff. It's not really your frontliner.
I feel like, again, like the way that Zephyr has been playing this has been more like the vision granter with the way that he's using these wards.
Pretty much. Right now we saw a Lincoln Sphere purchased by Ana. So this is because he wants to counter out the Morphling. There are not many things to block with Lincolns in this game, right? If you look on Team Dire, there are not many things at all that are single target. But there's one very important thing, and that is this Aghanim's Morphling. It steals so much of your stats. And that's the worst nightmare for a Drow Ranger. She wants to keep that Agi. So the Link is a smart choice to buy here, but that means he's playing without BKB, so a big risk for him.
It is indeed. Looks like Wildcard, they're hungry, they're on the hunt, they feel strong, they have an Aegis, they have themselves the Aghanim Shard and Scepter on Morphling. So T1 right now kind of pinned into the base, but they have a Venomancer, which will make it more difficult for the side of Wildcard to crack into the area. And Thompson's getting bigger and bigger as we go on. Does have himself the completed Daedalus.
Yeah, now he could honestly do really good damage, even something like Shadow Fiend, which is probably why we're seeing Shadow Fiend also his itemization. He's heading into more armor now. He wants the Assault Cuirass, going for Plate Mail, tanking up really hard. So he's got 40 armor now due to the ice armor as well from Chen. Smart decision to keep the Ogre Magi in this game.
Fight breaking out as Cuckoo running into Divine Llama. Again, this time it's just going to use that BKB, run out, goes for the call play over onto Divine, but he's already rolling on through. He's just going to get some angles, move out, and does end up getting silenced, but they don't have that damage. They're not quite in the position to make things happen just yet over on the side of T1.
I love the interaction between calling Pango, because it's like you break his steering. He cannot turn the wheels anymore. He's just going straight ahead, and that's all he can do. It looks so funny. But he gets back safely as well, so nothing too big was lost there.
All right, so how does T1 approach this? Also, my question for you too. We talked about having the Axe possibly pick up Blade Mail, and instead he's opted for the BKB because he was having a lot of issues, right? He would initiate and then half the time just get blown up by Snapfire Kisses, but it doesn't look like he's planning on the Blade Mail. Do you agree with this choice?
No, the BKB was completely fine. He already had that. It's just the... yeah, he's thinking about Force Staff now, which does help him get the initiation a little bit easier. He can sit farther back, Force Staff blink and catch, or use the Force Staff defensively. I think it's a good call as well. If he's relying on Tiny and Drow to do all the damage, which puts more pressure on them to be the ones to bring down the Morphling and the SF. I think having a Blade Mail could help, but we've also seen how fast the Axe has been shredded in some of these fights, so maybe he feels, oh, if I buy a Blade Mail, I'm still just gonna die too fast. I can't tank enough to make use of it.
That's entirely fair. He has had some very nice calls, but it's so difficult for the rest of the team to extricate him if things start to go a little bit hairy.
Yeah. Speaking more about tankiness, by the way, looking over to Wildcard, even Pango now buying this casual Plate Mail. He's gonna go Plate Mail and then Basher, and then his plan is to go Shivas after that. So they're adding a lot of bonus armor, which is great against Drow, because she can pierce your base armor. And just the tiny Daedalus Aghanims combo, of course. Getting tankier against it, probably a good idea.
Somewhere Kevin is very, very excited that they picked up the Plate Mail.
Oh yeah, Kevin likes that?
Oh yeah. Purge is a huge Plate Mail proponent. But they'll find an opening here, and there it is. There's that Ag coming into play. They're going to just try to blow up Thompson as fast as possible, and they are able to do it, no problem. The Rolling Thunder coming in. No longer the BKB available over onto Cuckoo as it's going to timeout, so he's going to be the next one to fall. Whitemon stuck over on the side. 3 dead on the side of T1 in the blink of an eye.
And they're in a good position to push high ground as well. Morphling wasting no time, going up immediately.
Again, he's still has the rest of the team. There's going to be multiple buybacks, though. They do not want to let them crack the space right now.
Yeah, they were hoping to catch the Morphling there because he Manta off the Venomous Gale, but he had latent toxicity on him. So he got stunned immediately when he used Manta. Maybe Axe and Tiny could catch him, but Snapfire is there. They have the Fire Snap Cookie and Force Staff. So, of course, they get out of there safely. And again, that was a really big blow to T1's economy. Using these buybacks, losing some heroes. They're just in an even worse shape than before.
I feel bad for Cuckoo because I feel like he's trying to do everything he possibly can, but it's just not proving to be enough right now.
Yeah, he had a good start to the game as well, but looking at him now, he's less farmed than the Chen. That's a big blow when Sam running around with Wraith Pact and Mech and 2.3k gold.
Divine Llama spotting out Whitemon, a big click coming out from Alone. Now the Rolling Thunder, Thompson nearby.
Oh no, he doesn't have
buy.
buy.
More of these. Uh-oh, there it is. The Yule's follow up. Cuckoo, though, getting into a nice position, but there's going to be the fear coming out now from the Shadow Fiend. The Requiem missiles doing a decent amount of damage, pushing everyone back. They're running for their lives. A good avalanche slowing them down, but there's a way from forward. He cleans up Thompson. He fought back in that last fight. He is not going to be able to help defend these racks. And you can see Zephyr, he's trying to put down all these little Hydralisk little wards, but it's just too difficult with what they have being thrown into their base. Fortification. Cuckoo, he wants to do something. It's going to be really tough. Anna, though, is got the Shadow Blade, is going to just try to clean up some of these creeps. They do have the damage if they're able to get the call, but I'm not sure if they have the HP to keep this Axe alive if he gets it. And indeed, that's what's ending up happening. A nice Echo Stomp, though, coming out from Whitemon will slow them down just enough. He making that shift. It's just going to go waveform, join up with the rest of the team. Does end up getting stunned like we talked about with that latent toxicity. But the damage is done here. They just need a little bit more damage over the other racks. But they do manage to find Alone. The cookie out forward. They're coming out from Alex. They're going to try to go for the dodge and can't do it. But in come the kisses. Can they finish off Cuckoo? He did just buy back earlier. They can't quite reach him, though.
My god, so close. Every single kiss is just barely out of range there from the Axe. He gets force-staffed and even uses the Ogre Seal Totem to slide away from them. But they bring down the SF. They did not manage to save the melee racks, though. So they only have a very, very injured range racks on bottom and a range racks on mid now. Wildcard gonna buy back immediately and just go to Roche here.
That was a fast Roche respawn, wasn't it?
It was a fast one, but, you know, because of him being up already, they buy back the SF and moving him over.
Making it. They're coming over. See, it's just too fast, though. We have Refresher and Cheese over on the Morphling. I believe Alone has picked up the Aegis. And there's an Arcane Rune. Wildcard are doing it.
Yeah, T1 are trying to sit here and set a trap, but the Morphling Illusions coming in, scouting. Gonna get revealed. Yeah, this feels like a much more confident wildcard than the one that we saw yesterday. Yesterday, it was so much nerves. We talked about how they looked like they were definitely getting in their own head, and now it just looks like they're making very, very calm and confident plays. And they're definitely playing together much more than we saw them play before. So let's just see if they can close out this game as well. They're 21,000 gold ahead. They have the Refresher, the Aegis, the Cheese. Now it's just about finding the one move. They're drawing on the map to make a smoke move and go through bottom. There is no tier 3 tower. So the Captain Sam, he's saying, go here, go up on high ground, see who we can find.
They did hand off the Refresher Shard to the Pangolier. I think that's a very good choice. It's the primary source of team fight besides Snapfire. They're waiting patiently, though. They're trying to get the information from the creeps. Where are they? How are they positioned? Creeps walking in. There's no one over in this bottom area. They're focused on other parts. In fact, the top part of the map where they're still clamoring together, apparently expecting that, you know, they're going to show up there, but...
Yeah, they're covering while Anna goes and farms the Ancients. Actually gets 2 drops there. I guess Ninja Gear, a very good drop for Drow Ranger as well. So it's quite important for him that he does this. He shows top. We should see Wildcard move over there.
And they're
not allow him to be on the map.
Anna's sitting nearby over on the low ground. They don't have the vision available right now from the side of Wildcard. They don't have the gem.
T1 want to fight.
Nearby.
They want to go out and take this fight. A little bit hard for him, though. The Illusions, again, pushing them back.
Oh god, Sam, what are you doing? I feel like you don't want to be the frontliner here. You're very important as this Chen. You need to get the Hand of God off. You need to get the Wraith Pack off. All right, there it is. There's the Blade Mail over onto Cuckoo, and it is doing a decent amount of damage and just barely manages to go for the multiply, but end up losing Cuckoo. They're going to keep rolling on through, seeing who else they can grab. That was very close here on Alone. I thought for sure that Aegis was going to get used right there and then.
Yeah, that was a nice attempt, but again, he's so squishy on the Axe, can't really stand against all the damage that they have on the side of Wildcard. And even if they got that kill, it would still only have been Aegis, and Axe would likely have died. I appreciate the aggression, though. I mean, T1, if you play safe in the situation they're in, you're just gonna safely lose. You might as well go out swinging, you know, try your best to find a way back into the game here. But now 40 seconds, no Axe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
All the things coming out now as they'll make the play over onto Eve immediately. Ana doing a decent amount of damage here, but not quite enough as Alone is get left behind. He's gonna back off. Got those golems around too. And force Ana away. Continue to clean up these creeps. They don't want to let them into their base. And it is proving a bit more difficult this time. Feels like T1, now that they've got this damage over here on Ana, being able to just kind of multi-shot out, it's a lot scarier.
It's not trivial to push high ground against multi-shot, against the Aghanim's Tiny, against Venomancer putting down the wards, and then now with Axe respawning as well, there's the threat of the call. So maybe Wildcard do the right thing here and just being patient. We'll see if they have the discipline. I think they saw the courier flying out. They're looking for it.
I mean, yeah, it's got the recipe for the Swift Blink on it.
Yeah, not gonna get that.
No, he's not. It was a little ambitious, I think, trying to send the courier out there. Cuckoo forward, but there's a Rolling Thunder coming out from Divine Llama, landing over onto multiples. And the BKB is out here from Cuckoo. This is not looking great for him as he's hiding into the tree line. They're pushing back the rest of T1 as they do manage to find Cuckoo. He's dead for another 52, and they'll use that refresher.
What a
Shard
man to dodge by
out.
Alone.
There's Alone, just trying to see what he can find over here. Thompson over into the corner. Eve jumps in with the Llama. Alone will get yet another kill, and there's going to be the buyback now on Tiny as they rip through this top racks.
Yeah, only mid racks remaining. It's 200 HP range racks. They could definitely just send in like Morphling with Waveform and then BKB TP out possibly. Axe is dead. There's nothing that can really stop him.
Oh boy, alright, you feeling very, very powerful. Even pops the BKB. Thought he saw an opening, but they just finish up and they get themselves mega creeps. I like this version of Wildcard we're seeing. I like the aggression. I like that they're keeping up the pressure.
It's what we've seen when we were watching them. There was always this potential in them, but it felt like they couldn't really connect it. But this game, they've been playing really good start to finish here and very methodical in how they executed. That was a hard high ground to crack. They finally push high ground, and Alone with a very clutch Manta dodge against the Axe call. Cuckoo tried to catch him, but Manta dodge from SF, and suddenly that fight was just disastrous.
Oops, I'm hitting the dust here, I think by accident, but is picked himself up. I believe he got an Ethereal Blade that's coming out to him. Yeah, there it is. So Ana was going in, was looking for an opening, but the follow-up here from Alone, he does so much damage. Has to be careful though if Tiny is here. They'll clean up a couple of these creeps. Ana is going to be able to teleport out. They just barely missed Thompson, and now they're going to find themselves Cuckoo again. And he'll go for the call play, dragging back the Llama. Alex, though, waiting patiently. Do have a cookie, so they're going to be able to leap around Cuckoo. And it's just so much damage that he just cannot absorb enough of it.
Yeah, this SF does an absurd amount of damage now that he has the Swift Blink as well. He still has the cheese for safety, even though he doesn't have Aegis now. And Eve is ready as well. BKB just came off cooldown for the Morphling.
Alone,
so he's
feeling
ready to
very
push.
powerful. Still has the cheese online. Gonna start hitting over on the towers. I like how they just kind of ignore Eve here, as Eve just clicking back over onto Ana, but the follow-up from Thompson. Oh my goodness! Alright, they get the kill on Eve. Maybe the cookie hop forward over onto Alone, landing the splitter.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think you want to back off with your Morphling down, though.
That was a fantastic catch by them there, and he just wasn't ready on the Morphling. Didn't think that he could die that quickly. But you still have to respect the damage output that T1 have just based on Drow Ranger and the Tiny. Between the two of them alone, they can do so much. And of course, respect Elder Titan's natural order. This is what I was talking about during the draft, that playing Morphling into ET, it can work good overall, but you might just see him disappear. Yeah, that's what we just saw there. That's the Morphling disappear magic trick. An Elder Titan special.
Sam losing a couple of these creeps to Thompson, although the Arcane Rune gets picked up by Alone. Looks like he considers trying to maybe cross the river, but we'll think better of it as they go for another smoke play over on the side of T1. They do need to clean up all of these creeps, though, as they make their way forward.
Yeah, they pushed out bottom lane, and Thompson is going to be the one who is not smoked, so he's going to go for pushing down mid one more wave. His teammates are in the smoke and able to look for something. This is very desperate. You have mega creeps against you, so you don't have much time to look for anything. So you can't reach as far into the dire jungle looking for a kill. So not really going to commit. They're just going to try and farm up some creeps. Look if anyone is far out in this area. But Wildcard, they're playing safe and methodical here. During Morphling being dead, everybody played as far back as possible, not to bleed more kills. You can tell that Wildcard, they want this win. They really, really want this win.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I just realized that Tiny has a Wind Waker.
And Roshan gets bullied once again. Goes down. This is going to be Aghanims now over for the SF. And of course, they still get the Refresher, the Cheese, the Aegis.
Find the opening, the initiation. Eve jumps forward, finds himself, gets a couple clicks off, turns his attention though over to Thompson, and he does his own Avatos with the Hand of God, plus these hits. Again, that Wind Waker coming into play. Is it going to be enough to keep Thompson alive? No, he is going to fall, and he does not have buyback. Chases on, now Anna's on a killing spree, does manage to get another kill, as we'll turn their attention over onto Zephyr. All the buybacks are coming out, though, from the side of T1. They know that they have to defend.
Yeah, this is already too late. They lost the Drow, they lost the Tiny. Axe and Elder Titan alone to defend against the entire team with Aegis.
It's too difficult. They'll buy back on Zephyr too. They're not willing to give up just yet, but it's going to be so incredibly difficult as Cuckoo does manage to get the jump over T, but the follow-up and the comes through the heels. That it is. There's the GG.
Yeah, there you have it. They call it Wildcard. They finally get a big takedown here in game 1, getting 1 win. They do need to secure themselves 2-0, so they need to win 1 more only to force out a draw between themselves and T1, in which case I believe we would move into a best of 3 if that happened. Of course, T1 still have a chance to defend from that, as we're